I saw on Reddit the other day someone posted my new favourite way to read fortune cookies. Add Master Wayne at the end and read with an English accent. I found this entertaining because it was a reference to one of my favourite trilogies, and I found the quote from the fortune cookie example to be rather appropriate for today's video's subject matter. Our greatest glory is not in ever falling, but in rising every time we fall. Master Wayne. And today's video is about learning from failure. I learned a lot creating my most recent video, the Weekly Snapshot, which is fantastic because it means I can improve my future content. So here we are back in my university room. It's like I never left, although I did leave for about 4 weeks, and I did a lot of cool things in that 4 weeks, and I'm definitely going to make a video about the cool things I did in that 4 weeks because I did a lot of cool things in that 4 weeks. I did that in one take. That wasn't that good. So yep, everything's unpacked. That took a while. Everything's unpacked, it's back into its places. I've got some new stuff here, I've got some old stuff. Some stuff never made it back with me. It's the final term, summer term. Ooh, we're gonna have some fun. But now let's get into the video. I rarely make a video that I don't learn something from. Whether it's an editing skill or a lighting technique or something as simple as how to present myself on camera. But the Weekly Snapshot was unusually educational for me. Now, I'm not considering the Weekly Snapshot as a failure, don't get me wrong. I'm very happy with the final product and the response it's been getting has been overwhelmingly positive, so thank you very much for that. With that said, I learned a lot of lessons creating the Weekly Snapshot, and I thought I'd share them with you now and show how I can improve my content in the future from the lessons I learned from creating the Weekly Snapshot. First off, yes, there is such a thing as being too ambitious. And for me, this was it. This series, this video, this was it. I completely underestimated the amount of time, work, and effort I would need to put in to create a video of this magnitude to a high enough standard that I'd be happy with. This, combined with the ridiculous suggested schedule of once a week, completely put me off the project. Because I knew there was no doubt in my mind that at some point very soon, I would have to forego quality for quantity. And that's something I don't want to do. The editing alone took several hours, and it would be impossible for me to do this series any justice. The Weekly Snapshot is a series I couldn't just attempt. I'd have to be fully committed and do it, or not do it at all. So, lesson 1. Do or do not, there is no try. By the way, I forgot to mention that all the lessons in this video are going to be quotes from famous films. So I'll make a little challenge for the comment section. Post a comment if you know what all 3 films are. The second thing I learned from the Weekly Snapshot was it was way too long. Although having said that, looking at the analytics of the video, it did seem that quite a few people made it all the way to the end, so thank you for that. With that said, and I noticed when I was editing it, the video often at times felt very segmented. I felt that I could have broken down this video into multiple smaller videos. That way the good content towards the end of the video would be able to stand alone in a solo video, instead of being missed by viewers that, perhaps rightly so, didn't sit through an 18-minute video. I think there were a lot of great moments in this video that possessed intrinsic value, so I believe that there's definitely a future for multiple videos that can stand out from each other. So that brings us to lesson number 2. You must strive to find your own voice, because the longer you wait to begin, the less likely you are going to find it at all. And finally, the third thing I learned from the Weekly Snapshot is probably the most significant. After I'd uploaded all of my footage to my editing software, I'd noticed that I had hours of me sitting talking to the camera. This was an eye-opening moment for me in this process, because I realized that the video I was about to put together was going to be very different from the video I had intended to create. The whole idea of the series was to film the things I do with the people I do them with, not film me sitting in my room talking about the things I did and the people I did them with. This was my biggest blunder, and I hadn't fully recognized how unbalanced my filming was until that point. It was about 80% of me sitting in my room and about 20% of me actually doing stuff. I had originally intended for that statistic to be reversed. I didn't film anywhere near as much as my life as I'd hoped, and I missed it sitting in my room talking to camera. And that brings us to lesson number 3. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. So those are the 3 lessons I learned from creating the Weekly Snapshot. In the future, I'm going to continue filming memorable moments of my life, but I create a bunch of shorter videos instead of one huge video. I prefer it that way, and with my calendar on a week-to-week basis being as unstable as it is at the moment, there's no way that I can publicly announce a concrete schedule. So I'll be uploading when I can. That's all I can really promise at the moment. So the lessons I learned from the weekly snapshot were: do or do not, there is no try. You must strive to find your own voice, because the longer you wait to begin, the less likely you are going to find it at all. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. These lessons and these quotes weren't really about how I could improve my content. Did you recognize where I was really going with this video? The lessons weren't really about how I could improve my content. They were more about how I could improve my own life. And maybe how they can improve your life too. Drop the mic, I'm out.